Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much. We are actually live now, but there will be 10 minutes before we start out. They can still
Alright.
hear us.
Well, I'm just watching you till we're ready.
You already won?
I'm watching YouTube till we're ready. So,
Ah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you the browser link for the chat so you can follow that in real time. You would probably like that, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that might work for you. I'm not sure. Tell me if it doesn't. Oh yeah, I probably don't. My bad. Jets. How am I gonna do that then? Christ. Because there will be coming stuff from both YouTube and Twitch. That's a good fucking question. Thought I could just give you that link and it will all be fine. Does it work? Oh yeah, it does work. It's just hard to see because the messages is in white.
Yeah, it's working.
Mm. Yeah, there's like a lot of great stuff to actually talk about in that. About Challenge Cup actually.
Yeah. I want to talk about how this new X team is, especially. I think this team's gonna go places.
Yeah, but I'm really like excited to talk about Catalyst that did 13-15 against Ajax Valley Law. They were actually
Yeah.
standing to win point, but they choked at the end.
Yeah, they did.
And the match wasn't streamed, which bummed me out so much.
Which match?
Catalyst versus EX wasn't streamed.
It was.
It was?
Yeah.
Shit. The official one was streaming another match. It was supposed to be streamed, but it wasn't. If I'm not wrong. Like, I was watching the official one, and
think what
they
I
changed the
remember.
way.
I think they joined the stream. I mean, joined that game like halfway through, something like that.
Halfway through? No, no, they joined someone else first, and then they joined another match. I'm not like completely wrong. See which link. Fake actually said that I could send out to everyone on the Warface EU. I wanted to.
Alright.
So don't worry, everyone will be watching you.
Lovely.
Well, not watching you, hearing you. My bad. And this time I've put on some uncopyrighted music so parts doesn't get cut out
Oh, alright then.
from the Twitch recording. But yeah, I just tagged fake because I can't tag everyone. Not tag here then. Nope. God, this coughing is so annoying.
Oh, found the stream that they streamed for Talis.
Awesome. C also is typing on YouTube saying, hey.
What's up, Alter?
Oh, fine. The Battleist match.
It's. Oh yeah, they did come halfway through. It's about 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Something like that, yeah.
2 minutes and 34 seconds.
Oh, sorry, 2 hours, my bad. 2 hours, 34 minutes.
Looks like Wreck Bro is here too. On Twitch. Oh shit, they came in late.
Yeah.
Just the bad ending. They legit joined it at 9:10. Fetalis. I believe Fetalis gets up to go 11:10 and then they lose round.
They threw some rounds, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Actually did an entire new setup for just this thingy. I did it in like half an hour. But yeah, we should start somewhat. I don't know, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Probably can't too much. Yeah. Send you a link on the site that I'm looking at. Schedule. If you have two screens, that might be easier to follow up on that.
Okay, I'm on it.
I'll open the grid too. Also asking how we are with... I'm doing good. Hello, Senef.
I'm good also, man. How are you?
But should we start with like some of the smaller teams at the start, like some of the teams that surprised a little bit and got further than expected?
Yeah, one of the teams I would say would be Decision. They won their first game, as well as they then won their. They also won their second game as well. Now, Decision, my opinion, I know some of those players, such as Dubspot. He's a good sniper. He plays quite passive, but also knows how to play aggressive as well. And I think that's what helped them, to get quite far. And I think like another team that surprised everyone was Sugoi, because
Oh yeah, definitely. Sugoi
in
definitely
EU
good.
at least, people wouldn't consider these guys, as anything amazing, but they still managed to get to the finals. Oh, sorry, semi-finals was. Oh no, it was finals.
They actually have some recognizable people from EU too. Like Killer, I definitely played against Bulgarian too. Two definitely very good players.
Yeah.
Good Life and all this one, I would say, is decent. The Chinese players, I don't know very much about, but they could very well be very strong.
Yeah, I think it's that ping that's holding them back from, doing anything amazing, because they have to wait for that annoying register. But with Warface, dead game,
Yeah,
horrible hit reg, plus 200 plus ping, not nice.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, they actually made it quite far. Let's see. Yeah, they totally removed Tech 2, like with ease. Death Zone 1. they also totally destroyed. But also there's like a bunch of ping stuff going on
Yeah.
right now. Game was pretty good against EX. You will look into that a little bit later. Some of the main teams. Just currently looking into these small teams.
What I was surprised about was to see Fame at the bottom. How they made a free win. They played against Sentence. They got basically an easy game, 11-1. And it seems like they threw the match against Wasted Potential.
Yeah, they were actually pretty close, like 11-8.
I think, in my opinion, they should have won that. From looking at the game, it seems like Hixcap got the most kills. Seems like he's getting quite important frags. On the other team, Apathy was, on top, getting 26 frags as well. So I think it was more of a one-on-one battle instead of a team game, because it was also D17 as well.
Yeah, I think they did pretty well actually. Wasted Potential. I know Maniachi is a very decent NG. Tali, I see him having good days and then having bad days, so I wasn't totally sure how he would do. The same with Soid, to be honest. Apathy seems somewhat consistent. Michael I haven't seen too much of actually, but yeah, Skyfall is definitely a very good player. From Fame, kind of, I've played with Boxy lately, and I don't know if he's the one doing the tactics, but he's really good at tactic stuff, definitely, and leading the team to do like some unregular tactics that is very successful.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I think they might have needed him in that one to play more tactic wise. Because I'm pretty sure Wasted Potential definitely go up into tactics and try and get that somewhat settled down. And if they just had the upper hand on the 1v1 fights they had, there wouldn't be too much to do from Fame's side if they needed that tactician.
Yeah, for sure. Because what I can say from, doing well in fast cups at least, is that what it takes to do well and win your games is any team can win the first 9, 8 rounds, but finish it off the team play, and you need the tactics, chemistry. It's a lot of stuff that comes in for you to get those last 2 rounds and finish it.
Yeah, and
For
also
sure.
like the nerves is really pressing at the end. I definitely know that from previously leading a team. Like pressure hits at some point. And some people have like problems handling with pressure. Others are way better at it. Like some start really showing their potential when in you know while being
Yeah.
under pressure, where others starts to fall back.
Yeah, for sure. Because even in the, what was it, the December Fast Cup, I played in that, and my team played against Exception in finals. And for everyone else who was watching, they were surprised to see me, for example, in the finals, because I have that. Everyone thinks that I'm not anything special and stuff like that. And in that match, I think I managed to prove everyone wrong. I managed to get over the stress and anything that could have put me back. I played with them well, and yeah, but then Exception seemed to be the better team overall then. And even now, even though Exception lost some players, they've still managed to keep the team together. They've now mixed up with the NA players. They've gone far. They've won this Challenge Cup. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, we'll be seeing them in the next Master League for sure.
Yeah, now when we already is around EX, we should probably look at some of the matches. I think the first match was a free win. I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was a tactical lose from Compania Bracchi, which actually has some very good players like Deco. Deco is a very strong Polish player and rifleman. Um, kind of, kind of odd seeing them not play, to be honest, since they
Yeah.
quite often like shows up and they actually do fairly decent, I would say.
I mean, I've played with them before. They're a decent team. I think they could have easily got a few rounds against X. I don't think they would have got wrecked for sure.
Yeah, they would probably win some rounds. I would definitely agree on that. Wouldn't be a too big loss, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely kind of sad that they choose to not play at all. We move on to EX against Repulse EU. Repulse EU have some. I know Mr. Romeo. He's a decent player. I don't see him too much in like OC rooms, stuff like that. I've heard he used to be like very good. That that match was also like a tactical lose though. So they actually just got 2 free matches.
I think if Repos actually played, I think their score could have been pretty close, considering they have Mr. Romeo, who's played against Exception before back in ESL, got the bronze or silver ESL badge to prove it. They have Lion Fix, who, in my opinion, is very good as well. He's a really good fragger, sure. And Random T as well. This guy alone can do some nutty stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. The guy's really good. Art, in my opinion, I used to know Art really well. This guy's a really good team player, that's for sure.
But do you think they would have the tactics to start outsmarting EX on like more than 5 rounds? I would think the match would be somewhere around 11-5 ish.
Yeah, something like that. Because
because they do have strong like individual skills.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be enough to like. I think EX would just start stacking up, you know, two versus one then. Because they do know how to play when they get outplayed by very individual skilled players.
Yeah.
But
for sure, I think what's it called? I think Repost, what they might have been lacking if they had played, definitely would have been teamwork, because before they had registered on the site, I had like friends. I would scrim them for fun, and you could see that they were missing the team play in the country, because it seems like they were doing pushes and only half the team knew what to do, and not everyone was, wanting to play really. It seemed like they were just doing it for the sake of doing it and didn't really want to be there.
yeah. Then we work up to the match of Battlers against EX. Was I would have loved to see the entire match. Sadly, it was only streamed from the round of 9 to 10, which then was made to a 10-10 by Battlers. Was on District, which I know Fatal is very good at District. I played against them on District. They do play very well in District. I don't know how well EX is playing on District.
For sure, I think EX don't really have a main map anymore, considering Factory have now been removed from the map pool, and before Factory used to be EX's main map to go. They would beat everyone on the map. It seems like now they seem to be struggling with that, considering they don't have Factory anymore. They don't have a map that they can fall back onto and easily beat people. So to see the score 15-13 as well, I think Fatalis could have won the whole game, but they for sure threw some easy rounds from what I saw.
Yeah. Also, to give it a little bit to EX, they didn't really warm up against other teams in this tournament so far. It was all tactical victories because no one really showed up. So wouldn't say they were properly warmed up to a match against Fatalis, which has already won like one or two matches already, and was definitely warmed up.
Yeah, for sure. Because firsthand I know, like, playing, just coming onto the server and then playing a match instantly against a very good team as well. It's daunting, and it's kind of hard. You don't expect to do amazing because it is your first game. You guys haven't warmed up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to play such a good team, like on your first game, for sure, I think they would have lost if Fatalis hadn't thrown away those rounds that they did.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about those small mistakes that's being made that EX is definitely just cashing in on, which they're kind of known for also in Exception. Like, if you make a mistake, you get punished.
For sure, that's 100%.
So
100.
I could definitely see Fatalis in the next Challenge Cup coming up being very, very strong. They keep and try and keep it consistent and remove the flaws that they've been making against EX, really analyzing where the mistakes were made, what part of the, like, if it was the starting position, rotating segment they were doing, and when it was doing a retake, when it was they got outed for the most of the time, just really working on that. Definitely could see them go very far in the next Challenge Cup, without a doubt.
I think as well, one thing they do need is to be able to play well on map, for sure, because it seems like District, for sure, definitely one of the stronger maps.
Yes.
But the other maps, I'm not too sure on because it was only a best of one series.
Yeah.
For the first, what was it, 3-4 matches?
Yes. Somewhere around that. I think this was best of one also. Check real quick. Yeah.
I think definitely though, if it was a best of 3, it would have for sure been maybe 2-1 to Exception, or maybe even Fatalis for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think
it will definitely go out in free maps.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
No doubt about that. To be honest, I didn't actually expect Fatalis to be doing so well against EX. I was kind of surprised when I saw the results because from what I've heard from some of the players was they didn't really train too much, but I think just the communication is like so much better because I believe all of them actually speak French. I played with also on my team. He's fairly decent at English. Some call outs can be like a little bit iffy because of the accent. So I think definitely the language barrier that had definitely been broken boosted it quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
the communication part and coordination too.
I think one thing that helped them get some quick rounds was for sure Wessie, when he was making some amazing flanks.
Yeah.
This guy seems to be able to flank without the other team realizing that he's behind them. This guy get the info, he'll get the kills. I did see from the stream that he did make some small mistakes. He killed one guy when he could have had the opportunity to kill maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I think it was those small things that made them lose the whole match.
But I also think that Dom's killer really uh, brought in the medic this time. You can see here on the game stats, Dom's killer actually doing 11 more revives than Karim, and also having way less stabs compared to anyone else. Like he's really covering that back line for sure.
Definitely with
And
26 frags.
so I think maybe Karim got killed too early somewhere in the process and just getting taken out. So they couldn't have those revives in some of the rounds they actually lost. So they should definitely try and look into that. And maybe he wasn't covered during some of the revives, stuff like that. Definitely have to look into that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is like very important when you play against a team like EX. They know how to play. Like they played against the Russians, which really aim out for that medic. Can also like the matches is a round is almost lost when the medic dies because you can't hold that line to get that buddy up again if the medic is
Yeah.
dead. And when you know the medic is dead, you can slowly start pushing because as you push, your medic can follow up, and then the other teammates will push further so the medic can get that revive all covered from the teammates. And I think uh, Fatalists probably don't really get into that section with the flank where they need to take out Dom's killer on the flank
Definitely.
while going for that revive.
I think the fact that they had Dom's killer, who is known for almost being such a smart player, and they had Desi as well, who is also a really smart player from NA. Combining those two minds together, I think this team is really going to go far, considering they have arguably one of the smartest EU players and probably the smartest NA player as well.
Yeah, definitely. Dom's killer really knows what he's doing in like almost every situation possible. Also says that Karam don't speak French actually, which can also maybe be one of the things that might have failed for them in this match because he would be the only one not speaking French on the team. That could possibly start making some problems in the communication and coordination of what they did.
Yeah, for sure. Considering he's the medic as well,
Yeah,
he's not someone who would, more or less die. So if he was, let's just say, a rifleman, for example, and he's died, the rest of the other four could have started speaking French. But
yeah,
the fact that he's the medic, he's gonna probably be alive the longest. So this guy's gonna have to either learn French or the whole team's gonna have to speak English the whole time because he doesn't know French, and
yeah.
that for sure could have held them back because obviously they're French speakers, so they might not know the call outs in English, so it might take them longer to give the call outs and stuff like that.
Yeah, this could also be some of the reason why they actually threw some of the rounds near the end. Um, Also says that they tried to speak English during the entire game, so that could also be a problem if they are used to play very much on French all the time. It can also be very frustrating for Karam when he has to go around and revive and depend on the backup and the info that his teammates are giving.
Yeah, for sure, because I know what it's like to be, an only English speaker in a team where players speak other languages, and I've
Yeah,
been in OC rooms and stuff like that. For sure, when it's just them alive, they love to speak their own language, and they end up playing better because they can give the info as fast as possible, and it just makes them play better. I think they just feel more comfortable speaking their own language, and they feel that they can do better speaking their own language.
yeah, definitely. I am I'm a Danish guy, I would definitely be able to give out the info much quicker in Danish, but there's just no Danish other barely any other Danish players that is playing on the same level currently. So it would be hard to find a Danish team, even though esports have been booming like crazy in Denmark lately.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, the communication is definitely way better in someone's main language than second or third language. So I think it's definitely been a problem for them in this match, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think if they definitely fix the communication issue, let's just say, in some crazy example, Karam knew French, I think they definitely would have won
Oh
because I've
yeah,
played with Karam. Karam is an amazing medic. This guy can get the kills, can get the revives, can get pretty much everything. In my opinion, he's more like a mini XL. My opinion.
yeah, he's definitely up and coming. Definitely, I think he might have had something like something with his ping. That is, I don't know how it works out for him, but he's definitely playing well, and he gets the kills and he gets the revives. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Hello, Miss Mary Panda. How are you doing? So yeah, definitely.
for
Um,
sure. The match against EX and Asperity. Now, this I was really about
we were really what?
because confused
Uh,
because to see that Asperity lost 11-1 the first game,
yeah,
and then the second game they lost 11-5. I've played against Asperity before, like many, many times, and they've beat us before, we've beat them before. The matches have been really close, and even in previous tournaments, Asperity have done really well. So for them to lose 11-1 in the first game, I think that was quite disheartening for them, especially.
yeah,
And so in the second game, which was D17, considering as well that it's a small map, plus there's only two people the whole game that have good ping, which would be Dom's Killer and Rogue. They would be able
yeah,
to get those kills easily, but the NA players from Asperity were struggling there. But they managed to get 5 rounds, which was better than losing 11-1 bridges like they did.
yeah. Definitely agree on that. But yeah, also I don't know if Asperity is used to playing against the like this US setup. You can also see the countries the different people are from. You really get some people that is spread out across the world with like different ping, probably different language barriers too.
Definitely, for
So
sure.
so they
Because I
might be
mean,
lacking the what's called the communication and coordination on that part against EX. Yeah, it seems like they played D17 and Bridges, except Bridges is spelled in Russian for me, apparently.
yes, but in Russian for me as well.
But we know what map it is since it says 2.0, so it's all good. Yeah, the accuracy seems to be fairly decent high, to be honest. See some 34% accuracy from Venom, 33% accuracy from San Sanjetsu. Sorry if I pronounce some of these names wrong. Yeah, they're definitely having a solid percentages of accuracy. The headshots is just not properly there. I would say from Asperity. C43131 headshots. Rogue obviously didn't get any headshots, uh,
Yeah.
but still you see higher headshot rate from the team of EX.
Um, One thing I think would be nice to bring up is going back to the Exception and Fatalis game. I think they had an old team. That old team, it was Enric, Cryptoa, Sense, Excel, and I think the last one may have been Ben Afflam or something like that. That team, I think if they still had that team, I think they could have won the whole tournament, because back then that team was able to beat the main exception team once or twice
Yeah.
in scrims and stuff. And I think for sure that team would have gone places. But then XL left and made it to the EXD, and I won't talk about that because might bring up some hard feelings for Mr. XL.
Also, Enric joined Fatalis instead.
Yeah.
Well, Enric's playing for Fatalis now.
Enric was he definitely used to be an underrated player for sure. Like, this guy came out of nowhere, and definitely, this guy I forgot what his old name was, but for sure people used to, nothing good really to say about him, and then all of a sudden he made a team, and now he's as probably, in my opinion, maybe one of the best French players, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree on that. He's a very, very strong rifleman currently. And you often see him play with Mew, I believe. It's also on Fatalis right now. Yeah, Mew too. They're definitely a dangerous duo when playing together. They really know how to communicate and understand each other's movement. So,
yeah, definitely.
They were without a team for a bit. So I looked into recruiting them for Poots at one point, and they definitely go together as, like, if you want to recruit one of them, you have to take the other one too. Like, but they play very, very well together. So we'll always almost be ashamed to take one of them and not take the other one.
Yeah, definitely. Also, who do you think would win this next Challenge Cup that's happening next week?
Well, let's look at the participants first. That tournaments. That would be the Challenge Cup 2. I think Fasilis will have a good chance to start out going somewhere. Same with Teletubbies. We actually saw them go quite far in the.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that.
Yeah, they're actually a quite solid team. When playing, they have Shader, which I know, especially around near the first Open Cup for the Masters League, I was in. They definitely played quite solid, and he was a very solid player, very consistent, playing the angles very well.
Definitely. And with this Teletubbies team, the one thing that they have is they all speak Hungarian. I know Paranoid, I think, is Paranoid is a little brother or bigger brother, I don't know. So they all speak Hungarian, which is a huge plus for them, because that means they can give all the info really well and really quickly. And I think that's what helped them to do so well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They really have that good communication, no language barrier at all. Just increase so much on the communication and coordination and the speed of that. People react to each other. Definitely. Also,
Yeah, for sure.
you can avoid all the mid noise that will be in between, because people say in between, trying to figure out what they're supposed to say that specific spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised it would go so far. See, Gralian is trying to get in contact with us from the chat, saying, anyone heard of him?
Grillian. Okay, I have some. I have lots of things to say about Mr. Grillian for him. Now, I think, in my opinion, Grillian he could potentially be definitely a good player, but I think one thing he lacks is taking the game seriously. He doesn't really take the game seriously. He doesn't really care, to be honest. And yeah, if he took the game seriously, he could have possibly been in any good team. But I guess
So he's currently not on a team, right?
no, he's not.
Which teams has he played for before then that I might know of?
I think he was. I don't know actually. I think he played in the last Challenge Cup. Um, Let me check. Yeah, Magical Gang versus Magical Gang. They actually lost that game. They lost 11-9 to decision. They had Ares, Brighton Dark, Fiction, and Grillian. The people that played was Ares, Kinley, Fiction, Grillian, Autopilot.
Yeah.
Now, I was surprised for Fiction to go negative, considering this guy's a former ESL winner with the gold ESL stripe. Kinley, of course, had the ping issues because she's from NA, so I don't blame her for doing a little bit bad. But it seemed like Ares. I know Ares. She's a girl as well. Well, she's definitely sure a really good player, and I think possibly if we keep getting more females in this, we could possibly see a all females esports team for Warface.
Yeah, we definitely see way more female players coming into play right now. There's Eviana and there's Pixie right now. It's two really good NGs playing.
I also just got some information saying that Ares is actually Dubé's little sister, which is surprising because I know Dubé himself, in my opinion, he's not very good. I think saw his brother Alfram a lot better than him, and it seems like his sister as well seems to be better than him as well. Seems like Dubé needs to actually start, learning from his little sister, in fact, because it seems like she's doing better than him, in my opinion.
I had the pleasure of playing with Dubby and Alfram actually on my team further back when Poot started. Dubby and Alfram plays very well together, but that can also be the part of them being two brothers. Like they really knew how to combine to get those kills, get the good flanks from Dubby's side. Just in general, securing that win, they could easily do 3 kills, just them two, in like a clutch. They could just count up those kills in almost any situation. It was just a pleasure to watch that, definitely.
Yeah, because I know Dubé, Alfram, and Ares as well, and they also have 2 more brothers as well, I think. So what we might even possibly see is the whole family making a team together with Alfram, Dubé, Ares, and their 2 other siblings as well. So we could possibly see full British team who are all related.
That would be interesting to watch, also because there will be a lot more communication and and coordination if they have that same bond as Dubby and Alfram have. Check the new British team, my G. Dubby says. But yeah, Dubby has been out saying that there will be a Poots version 2, so I'm looking forward to see that, if that will be a family team walking into the esports.
I think that'd be quite entertaining to watch and pretty funny as well, considering it would be the first thing in Warface, especially to
Also,
see
in general,
football
in
related.
esports, to be honest, I don't think there's been five siblings signing up as a team to play in like prize money tournaments.
Definitely.
Looks like Sync Mars is trying to get into Dubber's team. Same with Gralian in the chat from Twitch right now.
Talking about Sync Master, um,
Yeah, from the last game.
I think that well also have maybe, I don't know, little communication issues as well, because from what I've heard, they have Hyper as their sub, and if he is playing, obviously they have to speak English because the other six players in the team are all Portuguese, and I think that might throw them back, stuff like that. And it seems like they don't train very often either.
Oh yeah, they
So
definitely started cutting down on the training of what I've heard. Definitely seen Syncmaster play PUBG a lot lately, which I know playing another shooter game can definitely start screwing up with aim and sprinting and movement during a game.
yeah, definitely, and as well as Kim's as well. Kim's as
Yeah,
well plays a lot of PUBG, and Sinestro, also known as Bloods, plays a lot of CS:GO as well. So he doesn't look like they get together very often. They all seem to be playing other games, and it seems like they only come to Warface just to play their matches, and then they go back up to their other games.
yeah. Blackbeard came in here. For how long have you been streaming? What have I missed? Been streaming for 41 minutes now with Intact. I don't know. Would you like to do a short review of what we've been talking about so far?
Well, what we've been talking about the Challenge Cup teams. Uh, Basically how Exception have won. How Vitalis also could have won as well. We've also talked about who might win the next Challenge Cup. We've briefly talked about Master League as well. Pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I would like to talk a little bit more about wasted potential. Actually, um, they got up against Relax and won two maps. The first one was quite close. They did 8-11 and 5-11. I see Relax is somewhat a decent team. I know Manaft is a really good player. Same with Sideshop. Um, Maxim too. The rest I don't really know that much, to be honest.
Yeah, I was surprised for Relax to lose to Wasted Potential. Definitely, I think Relax would have won. In my opinion, I think they should have won that game. Think they should have won both games because for sure Relax have the teamwork. Psychopath is a really good team coordinator. But for sure, I think Maxim is one of the weaker links of the team because he isn't really up there with someone like Zplox is.
Yeah, but yeah, that kind of makes wasted potential like a kind of like an underdog team.
Definitely.
I know a bit before Masters League coming up. Actually, um, I know that Maniaci asked me to join his team, so I think they've been like somewhat going under the grid, starting training quite a bit to really do this. This entrance showing like we've been training, we've been doing some tactics, and we're ready to play with the big guys. We know how to play. We feel confident about really going into these matches and try and go for this victory, which they also seem to be doing fairly decent.
Yeah,
But you
definitely.
also see them lose quite a few rounds against teams that they shouldn't really be losing that many rounds to, compared to some of their other performances in the tournament. Like Relax, you see 8-11, 5-11. Some of the other matches, I believe, they did quite better. Like on Division 3-11, Teams Fair Enough, 11-8. Like it's been tight matches almost all the way through.
Yeah,
Still end
definitely.
out
They
winning.
definitely have to work. Definitely have had to work their way to the top to get second place. Definitely. They haven't had any really easy matches, unlike X on the other hand, who have had 2, 3 wins, 2 technical losses. Then they had one extremely hard game,
Yeah,
and
against
then
Fatalis.
yeah, and then against Disparity, those games were slightly easier,
Yeah,
and Soigai as well. Um, those matches were also pretty easy as well, 11-0 and 11-2. And then again they played another hard team, which was Wasted Potential, where 11-5, 11-8. I think for the first time they've played together in a cup, I think they've done really well, considering it's their first cup, I think.
yeah,
First Challenge
definitely.
Cup together. Definitely.
Yeah, they should definitely try and go in and look into the rounds they lost. It is most likely something with like some mistakes that the enemy cast in onto. It's often easier to see the mistakes your enemy makes than the mistakes you make yourself. Um, until you go and rewatch it later on, because in the middle of the game you can't really tend to see it because it might be another teammate doing something slightly different that just was able to um, really ruin that one round, making that hole to the enemy team to just push through.
Yeah, for sure.
But you see that in like a lot of teams. You saw that in Festivalis against EX. See it, you see it almost everywhere currently, but it's currently like very often in the new teams. You really need to be a solid team playing together for quite a
Yeah.
while to fill out those mistakes that is being made. Where EX is just so solid on it, and I bet Doms and you said Desi
Yeah.
really knows when those mistakes happen and can come in and assist on like, okay, this is the stuff we need to look at because they've been there already. They know what to do. They know how the mistakes look um, on the teams and where they need to work on it. Which
Definitely, yeah.
which also can be why you actually see this team growing so quickly right after um, Masters League getting in like right before Masters League registrations ends, exception split up, and then suddenly you have two new teams.
Yeah, for sure. I think the fact that what's it called? Um, Green and Akafade left make that with Max and Ryan sent Crown and stuff like that, and Eviana left to join Tilted. I think now you have definitely 3 top EU teams. Well, 2 top EU teams and one NA slash
Yeah,
that could
definitely.
possibly all go to LAN.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Ziploc says, Relax and Fame merge teams now. I assume they have signed up for the Challenge Cup 2 somewhere. So let's go and look at that real quick to see how that will somewhat end up. If you know the name, it would be very nice. And that is Ziploc saying that, which was from Fame, I believe. See, Team Relax have signed in here, but they're only 4 players. It might not be under the name of Relax. It's not that team either. Yeah, definitely. We can look into some of the other teams that tend to have done quite fairly well on the Challenge Cup. If I can find the thing, I can't, so we go in and look up as new. Grid. Let's see, some of the teams that went quite well was Puff, I believe, too. They won. Yeah, they got a free win on the first one. And they had a very tight match against Ice Bears, which I yeah, like it's a very tight match. I actually thought Ice Bears would go further than they actually did. They have Quickscope as a very good player, and Cyric and Sky Blue too.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sky Blue as well could have also showed something as well as Zurich and even Thug Life as well. Because
yeah,
I know some of these players, they're definitely decent players.
also you can see on the game stats on this one, you don't really see anyone really showing like shining from Ice Bears currently. Like there's no one triumphing, like starting going out for that carry like you see at Path, where Pascal is just with a whopping like 27 kills, having a KD on 2.08. So I think maybe just Ice Bears had like they weren't really ready to go into this match against these people.
I don't think they were fully prepared for a challenge. I think that's definitely somewhat true. They weren't really prepared to go against any teams that would, really show them how to play. I think they were kind of expecting it to go somewhat easy, or they had already set themselves up to think that they were going to lose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I think the game could have been going on for maybe even longer, maybe even a 15-13. Maybe Ice Bears could have actually won that.
Yeah. Definitely. But it also seems like Path has like really been ready for this Challenge Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
They've really been like, okay, we need to do this. This is the Challenge Cup. We need to push through. But I also feel like there's a lot of teams that have been thinking that because the Masters League that it leads up to has really not been that solid, to be honest. Like the times that were set wasn't really comfortable for anyone. Like either the matches were like very late or they were very early, and sometimes on actually weekdays where not all is like ever able to play. So it's really, and all the teams forming right before Masters League and splitting up in the middle of the registering, stuff like that. You see onliners being disqualified and the members being banned from the next Challenge Cup. And Masters League is just terrible.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I know that, especially onliners, I know that the people in there, such as Ark, Aeon, for sure, those players only come to Warface to try and get LAN. If they can't get to LAN, then they do just leave the game. And especially Snark, he's tried to basically almost try and do well in every game possible. Like he's tried to go somewhat pro in PUBG, CS, Line of Sight, Black Squad, a lot of games. This guy's tried to go really well in, and if he doesn't work out, he'll just leave in the middle and doesn't really care. The same with Ramsey as well. Yeah, Aeon, and I think it's just sad because Vice God, especially even with the last Master League, Vice God really did carry them as well in the last Master League.
yeah,
And I think they could have, even if they didn't come first or second, they actually could have come maybe even third place. They could have guaranteed a spot for the next Master League season, but now they won't be having that spot anymore because they
yeah,
decided just to leave.
yeah. They're probably heading on to the next game, probably. But it also, it's kind of sad to see, Yulus and Ninja not being able to play in the next Challenge Cup and Masters League now because of this situation with the team. I know Yulus is a very good medic. I've been talking with him about some stuff with medic, how to play medic, helping each other out a little bit on how to improve and learn a little bit from each other. But it's just kind of sad to see that someone that really really wants to play and wants to improve and get to that Master League and keep staying there and eventually have a chance to get a LAN is just suddenly not there, being able to play,
Yeah,
which actually could lead to someone leaving like the game at the end. Someone who actually really liked to do that. Blackview coming in with a question. What do you think how the MO was set up this time? I did not like it that you could instantly register for the Master League itself. I would have preferred if they would have just kept it like the first Challenge Cup, that the top two teams of the cup goes to Masters League. I think actually I would like to save that question for when I do a similar review about Masters League
um,
after the Masters League actually has ended now. So that it would be a very good thing to go in and point out when I do a stream like that. Somewhat similar to this one. But if you have like something quick to say about that, in fact, you are welcome to say it.
for sure, Master League set up like this because it's based off the Russians and the way they do their Master League, Challenge Cup, and Pro League. Because basically, they have to do it like this because otherwise, if they all had to redo it and do it again, then, for example, teams like AEG, Arena Stars, Fate, all these really good Russian would always keep winning these Challenge Cups, and that means they would get into the Master League. Then there would be no good teams in Master League because it would all be the Pro League teams, and then only a couple teams from Master League go to Pro League. That's why they say you have to have, I don't know, a certain amount of points or stuff like that. That's why it's all set up like that. So the Pro League players, they stay away from the casual players and stuff like that. So it's all done fairly.
I feel like you should have your chance to come in with an answer of this question now that you're a guest on here. So definitely, kind of true for the Rue, but I think it would be different in EU.
Malcolm can't be bothered. That's the honest truth. And it's too
Also,
much effort.
Also, the old one was kind of flawed in the ways of just commenting on it a little bit now too. Like you could see people go up to Masters League and still, ditch out like on the Russian servers. But in another way, it's also kind of a little bit flawed for the EU to do it the way they did, because no one really knew what it would take to get into Masters League. Like it was so uncertain of like who gets extra points to get in, stuff like that. I for sure didn't have any clue at all, and with my team Poots, I didn't expect to get in. Actually, we just signed up because whatever. Maybe we get in, maybe we don't. Um,
I
Pixie
think
saying the CC now is a disadvantage for NA people. Yeah, I totally agree on that.
they've had to do it like that because otherwise, if, as you know, there's not very many people in NA. So really, if let's just say 3 teams register, one team will get a free bracket, they'll get a free win, and so instantly
Lan.
that, yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of, it doesn't work very well for um, a server that small to have like their own participant to land. To be honest, if if NA was starting to get bigger um, size, closer to like the EU size, I would definitely see it happening. But I think this is the better way for the NA people too, because they have potential to team up with people from the EU too, to see these different team combination, and you have more people in some of the very very good teams. So you kind of raise the bar a little bit on the CC and Master League by having this um, merged servers. Definitely.
definitely, definitely.
What else can we look into right now for the CC Cup? Any other teams you'd like to look into? The STR 8K for SH, maybe?
Straight cash.
Great cash.
Straight cash. Okay, I was actually surprised that they lost Teletubby. Now I played in the NA Fast Cup or the Ultimate Summer Cup, which one of them, and I played against Straight Cash. This team, in my opinion, a really, really, really strong team. I genuinely thought these guys were gonna go to the finals, maybe even the semi-final. I was really surprised to see that they lost to Teletubbies when they had won the first game 11-1. That makes sense because I know definitely they're arguably also the best players from NA. They have a Nika as well, who's really, really good. Overdosed is a really good medic as well.
Yep.
And to see that they lost then 11-3 on destination was really weird. And then 11-9 as well, having such a close game as well, that doesn't really make sense to me. How they eventually lost the whole thing.
Yeah. Also, when you see on the match previously against Path, they were doing very, very, very well. You see Redrum having a 14-3 score, KD on 4.67, and the accuracies is just really high, like 34% for Red Drum, 30% for Export, 20% for Druglord David, and just in general above the 15% of accuracy is really, really nice for a team to have. But you're also lacking a little bit on the headshots for some of the players that you really like to see doing some headshots.
Definitely, 'cause even in the second game, Nika went 4-13 bottom frag game. for Straight Cash. Um, to me, I think Nika, honestly, probably the best fragger on that team. So to see that bottom fragging, that's really weird. Even on the third game, Jesse, who you guys might know as Crack, I'm again surprised to see him going 620 because at least four of these guys used to be amazing, amazing players. To see now that they're doing this bad, this heartening. Yeah,
Yeah, but this could also have a little bit to do with the ping because they're coming from NA joining into the EU servers with the EU server placement.
for sure. Yeah,
And suddenly have to adjust to how it is playing on these EU servers. If they really want to shine the EU servers, I could definitely see them having an EU account instead. To getting used to this ping different, definitely. You also see the first map on bridges. Just look at the accuracy they're having from Straight Cash. It's incredible. Everyone is above 20%, which is totally crazy to see. And like the other matches we've looked at, the accuracy wasn't that good actually, but this team really showing they know where to aim and when to shoot.
definitely considering overdosed as well. Plays medic and gets 33% accuracy.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
shows that he knows what he's doing.
Niku, was he sniping or not? Because
Um,
he's having
I
46% accuracy.
think he may have been sniping the game,
Yeah,
but
but
I know Red Drum as a main sniper for that team at least.
yeah, but still you see this whopping accuracy. Like it is incredible to watch that people really goes into this because you see a lot of players spraying ahead, pre-firing a lot, but still these people really know when to shoot. And it's just a pleasure to see. And then you see at the next match where it just kind of drops quite a bit. You don't see that high 46 accuracy they had before. But you see Red Drum going down to a 12.9 accuracy from the previous 24%.
I think what may have happened is that they may have got a little bit, a bit too overconfident and be thrown the whole thing because it seems like they really should have won the whole thing 0 quickly. Shouldn't have been anything hard for them. But yeah, then again, could have been the ping.
Yeah, you also see like they won the first map 11-1 and then just drastically losing the next two matches. Or at least the second map and destination. They really need to get some training onto that map if they really want to. Yeah, they might have been like too overconfident in that match. And then it slightly gets to both of them that it's actually a tie at that point and they start getting close in the third match. Unless there
Definitely.
was like
So
a big comeback, but I didn't see the match, sadly. But yeah, definitely. Close match in that last one. It's kind of, it's kind of odd seeing like someone doing 11-1 and then the next map they do 3-11 to the enemy team. Normally it would be like somewhere halfways or somewhere like the third map in the second map, you know? But here's like it could have been anyone winning that last map, to be honest. Which actually we said earlier it was Bridges, but it's actually Yard. Because Bridges is spelled in English.
oh, okay then.
So that map that map is Yard. But depending on the new map pool, to be honest, Yards, I don't think that many have actually taken the time to play it because it hasn't been in the game pool or the map pool for so long now. That the training have somewhat gone away from that, and also because it's a new map, there will be new tactics for it. So
Yeah,
this,
for sure. I've played on it. Some of the angles that were there in the previous yard, some of them are still there. Definitely one big game changer would be removing the table on one,
mark, yeah, the one
and
right
also
above market.
yeah, and also the fact that when you go into one site now, there's no more gate. It's a wall. You
Yeah,
can't shoot the gate anymore, so people can actually hide there now.
yeah, definitely.
Before people would plant on the site, climb up top of the box by old way, and they would shoot through the fence. But now it's no longer there, so you will have to go straight through the site.
Also, you have to defend it on a like in a different way because if you don't cover that back, they can potentially sneak in and just get that diffuse. So you really need to cover that back now uh, from the defending side's spawn if you have the bomb planted. like you like you said, you can't shoot from right above stairs now directly onto site if someone is diffusing. And I think they actually also um, believe they made the roof above site 1 slightly bigger too, so you can't really throw any proper grenades onto site from any far distances.
Yeah, definitely. I think Warface really is changing a lot. They've opened up a lot of new angles, especially on yard. The same thing happened with bridges. How before with the old bridges, shoot everyone running up the set stairs. Can't do that anymore. And what they've done is now you can forever have sniper battles from both bridges. There's so many spots you can kill people from one side of the map to the other. There's so many new wallbang spots, and I think Warface is definitely changing to more of a tactical game where you have to really learn the map before playing, because otherwise you will be walking through a map that you have no knowledge of, and you will be get punished for it.
Yeah, definitely. You also see more close range areas in the different maps, especially on Yarn that we just mentioned, where you get those close battles near 1 now, where you didn't really have that many close battles that could benefit medic or engineer that well. Where now where you have like more closed site is it's quite more appealing to NG and medics to really shine in those matches. So you also have to really consider you can't just have a very strong team and a very weak medic or very weak engineer on these teams. Like you really need those all of the classes to play each map if you want to play all the sites that is on the on the map, which
Yeah, I think
also opens up for
really
more tactics and strategies.
it's really opening, really changing the game so everyone now more or less has a chance to show what they can do. And if you before, if you were playing medic and you weren't really doing anything, especially on these newer maps and the reworks, definitely getting the chance to really show your true skill. Every class is really having an area that they can really shine in, really show what they can really do.
Yeah, definitely. We are getting closer to the end of the stream actually right now. So if anyone has any further question, it would be now to get them in while we're slowly going out from this. Blackbeard saying, don't know why so little teams signed up for the Challenge Cup. I mean, not even 50 teams. Just because the people don't know how to do the stuff with the ID information. I believe a lot of players actually got the ID stuff done already for the last Open Cup. There was for the first one there was barely 16 teams. The first Open Cup because they just implemented the ID thingy. And the second one it just times two every single time. I think we got up to have quite a lot of teams in the Open Cup 4, to be honest. Let me see if I can go back and find that one. It was quite nice seeing so many signing up. That was right about when I actually started playing professional myself with my team. Um, I haven't been in the game for too long, just uh, about 1.5 years soon, to be honest. What about you,
Wow.
Intact?
I've been playing for what, like 4 years. Definitely. When I first came to this game, I'm not gonna lie, I just started playing this fun thing. Um, then I gradually started taking it a bit more seriously. By the time I started taking it seriously, there was ESL. Exception was I always knew Exception as the team, who never lost, always beating everyone. Um, then I slightly started sliding towards this ESL/Open Cup scene. I started getting involved. I met all the players for sure. The Fiction and Pro Fatality used to be one of the biggest fans of them because they were British players as well as brothers. And then uh, when My.com announced that these fast cups were happening, I met XL, who previously had the name of Nylon One. Just say we had some fun times back then. Uh, then I met Hyperskull as well, and I met Sneak, moderator for Warface, and we played in the first cup. Um, we won the first game. I will never forget the first game. We were losing 0-3 to Panolo's team. Then he disconnected, but because we were 3 rounds in, and in the rules it says that you don't need to restart, we just carried on playing. We won 1 or 2 rounds. Then he came back, and we won the whole game. I will never forget. Mr. Panolo couldn't stop crying and moaning for losing because he was winning 3-0 and practically lost 11-5. And yeah, from there, I just after that cup, I just couldn't stop playing Open Cup. I just fell in love with it. That's what's happened. It's the only reason I kind of play this game for Open Cup and stuff like that.
Yeah, quite difference to my entrance to the cup tournament playing world. Actually, I had trying to get a team for my CS:GO team for quite a while. Couldn't find 5 people to start attending. We were we were 4 Danish people, so we could go around to like small tournaments around in Denmark, but couldn't really find that 5th guy that wanted in. So I actually stopped playing that, started streaming a different game. When I actually started streaming there, it got outdated by time, and then I started in Warface. I was like, okay, I want a competitive first-person shooter game. I would really like to play on the level that I didn't get to play on when I played CS:GO. But obviously, I don't know how to get into that part. I wasn't in like a clan for like really really good players. So,
Okay.
and then I actually got recruited by into Poots while I was playing a destruction map of all. Like it's not really one of the game modes that really shows how good you are. But I was playing Destruction, and this guy called White Psycho at that time, Poots Captain. At that time, it wasn't called Poots. He had Alfram, P50, Dobby, and also on his team. Stralian asking what game did I start with 4 Danes? Well, I played CSGO with 4 other Danes, trying to do tournament stuff, CSGO. So, but yeah, he recruited me saying that they were in need of a medic. I had changed from maining rifle to maining medic because I really like the shotgun play of it. So I was playing a very aggressive medic, to be honest, when I got into tournament stuff, where I then played for Poots for a little bit under White's lead when he then announced that he was going to New Zealand and needed someone else to take over the team and lead the team. So he actually teach me pretty much how to lead a team. So yeah, also teach me a bit of medic skills. I have heard he had been medic for quite a while, playing medic almost professionally earlier than that. But I got into a what's called very well good team right off the bat, to be honest, which I'm very grateful for, with a lot of nice people. So that's kind of how I got into that.
Oh, Gralian saying heard of Gralian in Warface or CS Gralian.
I have not heard about him in CS. I wasn't really into any. Didn't really get into anything big at all in CS:GO.
Oh,
But in
Warface.
Warface, yeah, I've definitely heard of him. But not a lot. Some I have, but not a lot. There's people you see way more than others. For example, you see Eviana go like turned out like out of nowhere and went to be the topic of almost all of the chats in between tournament players because she went directly into exception. I think I have had chats with Rallian before, yeah, but I haven't heard like much about you in tournament stuff. To be honest, I wasn't one to look much into it. I'm not one to go onto YouTube and see frag movies or anything like that, to be honest. She would do, you mean female? What? Oh yeah, I tried you out for Boots, that's correct. Yeah, Eviana is a female, which I also think kind of surprised a lot of people because we don't see that many female players in esports currently, but they're starting definitely getting into it and showing their skill way more often now. So
Yeah, she's definitely a really skilled player. Like, I've looked at her YouTube channel. He really does know the game. Knows the game really well. He knows how to game, play the game properly. He knows all the secret spots and stuff like that. She does. She's done her research on the whole game. She's got the knowledge, and honestly, I think
1 second, I'm back.
one of the best players. Yeah, Black. She was in Monta's team. Yeah, she was in.
Yep.
Forgot what team that's called.
Yep. So I'm back. I do not know much of this person though. I haven't really followed the Russian teams at all. Back in the time, I really only started following up on the teams and stuff. What's your thoughts on Monty going back to rifle? We can
Okay,
do that
Monty
one.
getting back to rifle. Monty. Okay, I've known Monty for about, I guess you could say, 2 years. Um, I knew Monty back when he originally made Tilted. Uh, this is back when Simba's old name was Wonder Kid as well, and he left Chaos and joined Tilted with Monty. I ran into them in game. I just asked to join back when I was, the popular clan hopper of EU. Um, and everyone, when I say everyone, I mean lots of people. I'm talking top players. We're literally calling Monty out for hacks because this guy was literally amazing. His aim was literally godlike, and the fact that quit and even came back and he's pretty much playing the exact same. It's just amazing to see England's actually doing something right for once, and we're actually going places. Because Monty's literally amazing. This guy's so good. He can play rifle at a super high level, and he can literally play sniper as well at a super high level as well.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Monty is that he's very very consistent on this very high level of sniping. It's like it is incredible to watch the shots he makes. Uh, Definitely on these tight spots. Like he really challenges some of the very very best snipers in the game. Um, for him to go rifle, I haven't seen too much of his rifle play, but he really does very very well too. That um, also it might benefit him because there's so many good snipers currently. So for him to turning into a very very good rifle too, definitely give him an advantage if he chooses to change team at some point. But if he should be playing as a rifle or sniper, is
I
it's hard
think he
to say.
should always play rifle. This guy, if you fully play against Monty when he's at his prime, he's such a smart player. This guy will literally outsmart any sniper. The amount of times I'll be in TS with him and complaining, and we'll be playing a match or a scrim or just a mix in general, and we would do whatever we can to try and get around the sniper. We can't. Monty will always find a way to outsmart a sniper, and he just knows how EU players play in general. I'm not sure how he'll do against the Russian players, but against the Master League players for sure, he's definitely as good as them. But Pro League probably not because they're at a whole nother level. But for sure, Monty could for sure be top 100 in if we include the Russians as well. Because this guy is such a smart player and so good in general.
Yes. We should start wrapping up. I see the official Warface stream starting up soon, so or has been starting up. So I think that would somewhat be the end of this for
All right,
now.
then. Thanks for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure having you. So thank you for joining in today. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
Nice to have
No problem.
company on these talks. That will be
I'll,
it for the stream now.
I'll
Adios.
see you later then, I guess.
Yep.